Hello, and thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Jamie. After I recorded the last video about what it feels like to follow my intuition, I got some clarity while mulching plant beds about something that I've been thinking about. And so I want to share it. I feel to share it. This is about the third or fourth time I've tried to record this message. Keeps getting interrupted, but I'm gonna do it anyway, and maybe it's important because that keeps happening. So bear with me. I got guided intuitively to where I am in Australia, and recently I got guided to stay here longer. I make a video like that's in the last video if you want to hear more about that, but I've had all these things line up all along this journey just so, and so many details just be aligned, showing me that I'm on the right path, showing me at all these different moments that I was like where I was meant to be at that time, and things that you couldn't make up. And maybe I'll make a video about that at some point, all these like little signs that I pick up on that sort of guide me on my path. But it's really interesting because I opted to stay longer in this place, and I've been here now almost a month, and this is where I felt to be in Australia. Like when I first got this intuitive hit that I needed to get back here, this is the place. So it makes sense that I keep feeling to stay here on one hand, and then my mind wants to just pick everything apart. And so it's just like I'm finding all these different layers of what my mind is doing right now basically, and I'm sharing it as I go. So hopefully it's helpful to someone out there, and maybe you can relate. But what I'm noticing is like my mind's wanting to know why I'm staying here longer. Like what's the purpose of it? Like what am I meant to be doing with my time here? It's funny. And then I realized I had this realization about my programming and the programming that we get in the Western world pretty much as soon as we're born, of this go, 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 do mentality and way of being, where we're just taught to just be always on the move and always doing something to have like value and meaning in our life, or value and meaning to us and worthiness of ourselves and all these things. And I remember growing up and being called lazy by my dad, and because I was like sleeping in as a high schooler. And it's like, dude, you're growing and you're experiencing so much, and hormones and all the social things that you're dealing with during the week. It's like when I get to the weekend, I just wanted to sleep, and I needed that rest. And I realize now why, because I'm one to recharge in my solitude, and when I'm just around people all the time, it gets to be a bit too much for my system. And so anyway, that's a side note, but it's just really interesting because even now, I'm not working right now, and I haven't been for the last few months, and it's like I feel like this is another layer of coming back to just my own spirit, my own intuition, my own beingness, just being, just existing, just calming my mind, and just being in the moment, and just having things happen as they happen, and not feeling the need to chase or force or do anything in order to have this all just be what it's meant to be. So it's interesting because like sometimes we're so programmed that we don't even see our own programming. And I thought, back years ago, after quitting my nursing job and quitting that profession, I was just always on edge. It actually took me years to recover from that profession because you're always in this like constant state of high alert of, emergency things happening, and all the ins and outs you can imagine as being a nurse when you're taking care of people who are sick and maybe not even sick. But anyway, I just had this like sense of always on edge, going, and almost like when my life would calm down, or I would calm down, or I wouldn't be doing anything, it felt odd to me. And it took, like I said, it took years to just be okay with things not being chaotic, with things not being so on edge, and with not being so busy all the time. And now it's really interesting because I feel like this is just another layer, another level of getting it more into beingness, is You know, my last job, I mean, it was somewhat go, 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 but it was way more relaxed. Like, I kind of kept myself in a go, go, go at that job, I realize now as I'm talking, but all in all, like, that's not how I function in my life. Like, I'm perfectly fine just creating, staying home and painting, taking a nap if I feel to take a nap, doing what I feel to do. But then I'm noticing that in being here, I've done so many cool things and I've seen so many places here that it feels a bit like, okay, now what? Like, now what am I meant to be doing here? Like, I'm mulching these beds. I've been, you know, just going with friends, like, to the ocean here and there, and, you know, going to the coffee shop, and I started working on a painting and stuff, but like, it just feels like, okay, but what am I meant to be doing? And so then I just had that realization. I was just like, Jamie, you're not meant to be doing anything. You're meant to just being and getting okay with just being as you are, where you are, in this moment, right now. So I feel like this is really important for us to realize as humans. Like, I see so many people running around and just going all the time. And in fact, there were nurses I worked with that then took on, like, becoming real estate agents as well. So, and these are people that also had like 4 and 5 kids. So here they are, they've got a whole family, all these kids. They're a nurse full-time in the hospital, and then in their spare time, they're selling houses. Just blew my mind, because even back then when I was working as a nurse, I've never been a workaholic. I've always valued my downtime. I've always valued my days off. And even back then, like, you know, I was working as a nurse full time and then would have my son on my days off, and like, they would ask me all the time to work overtime, to work extra shifts, and nurses were making bank. Like, you'd get like a bonus of hundreds of dollars per shift, plus getting paid for that shift and overtime pay, and people were just like cashing in on it left and right. I had no interest in that at all, and it wasn't because financially I was just like all square and set. It was because I valued my time with my son. Like, when I wasn't working, I was with him, and if I would work extra, that meant that I was gonna have to shift my schedule and not be with him as much, and I wasn't willing to do that. So I've never been one to just like be at that level of go, go, go. But still, it's ingrained. I can still see it coming up right now. And yeah, it was a really important realization for me to have today, of just like, you don't have to be anywhere specific. You don't have to be doing anything specific. You don't have to always be doing activities. Even in my creation, I don't have to always be creating, right? I'm choosing to share what I'm learning and what I'm realizing as I go on this journey and these videos, but that doesn't feel like work. That doesn't feel like, yeah, it feels good. So I'm just following what feels good, and I think that's key. And that's probably what I'm being shown too. Just do what feels good, and everything lines up. And I'm just gonna keep trusting it, because my spirit got me here. It got me here to Australia. It got me here to this place. It got me to the amazing people that I've met. And, you know, all I have to do is keep being and doing what feels good, and yeah, enjoying the present moment and just being present in my moments, and everything is lining up. Yeah, and I'm just reminded that, like, even coming up here, I didn't really have to like do anything to have all the magic happen. I just had to get myself where I felt to go to. And yeah, if that's you, if you feel called to go somewhere, I can't recommend highly enough that you do it. There's some reason that we get pulled to these places, and you know, I think even a lot of times it's probably things that we can't even realize, maybe we'll never realize, but just like the energy of a place can be impacting us in big ways that we're not even aware of, right? So yeah, And before I came here, you know what I had the sense of? That I just needed to come here and just be on country and just be. It's just that as I've gone along on my journey, I just forgot that. I forgot that. I'm remembering that right this second. So anyway, if you can relate, leave a comment. I'm just curious, like, it's funny making these videos because you feel like you're just speaking into some void, but I know that this can reach people all over the place, so you never know like who's listening or how it resonates with you. But yeah, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you, and have an awesome day.